Hi, this is Joy Robertson. As many of you know, I love food. I love finding new restaurants. I love trying new dishes. And most of all, I love talking to the many great restaurateurs and entrepreneurs we have here in the Ozarks and beyond. I love hearing their stories, and that's what this podcast is all about, learning more about them and their journey. So join me as we savor the Ozarks. This episode is brought to you by Arctic Food Equipment. I am at the one place in Springfield, Missouri, where people will stand outside in the winter in the freezing cold to get their hands on a frozen treat. Anybody out there know what I'm talking about? Yes, of course you do. I'm talking about Pineapple Whip, and Zach Fortner is here, and he's going to fill me in on everything Pineapple Whip, which we all know and love. And I am currently sitting... We're sitting at a picnic table watching Lulu shake her hula skirt on Glenstone Avenue. Zach, how are you? Thanks for joining me on Savor the Ozarks.
I'm great. I'm sorry I drug you out here at a 95-degree day, but, you know, it's summer. What are you going to do?
It's summer, and you know what? There's a sweet frozen treat at the end, so I'm all good. Where do I even start with Pineapple Whip? Talk about a sensation. I mean, Pineapple Whip is as much Springfield as anything that is Springfield. Brad Pitt, Cashew Chicken, Bass Pro, Pineapple Whip, right up there. Give me a little history of this company.
Well, I think you put us in a category we maybe don't belong in, being alongside Bass Pro and Brad Pitt.
Oh, no, you're there. You're totally there. Anyway, how did this fabulous Pineapple Whip get started?
Well, I think it was kind of the unintended consequence of my grandpa's brain. My grandpa, he kind of got his hands into anything and everything. He was an electrician back in the 50s, and he was a traveling electrician. My grandma and he drove around in a trailer. Might have been an Airstream, I'm not sure, but in a camper trailer, pulled behind his truck, and he went to jobs all around the country and worked on this and that as an electrician. And then at some point or another, he saw how successful the A&W business was. Because at that point, A&W was at its peak. And he thought, I need to get into this. So,
meaning A&W root beer.
Yes. So he got into A&W root beer franchising. And he and a partner, I think at one point they had 3 of them. Rolla first, and then he moved to Springfield and had a couple of A&W locations here. So he did that for quite a while, and then somehow or another he got into the concessions business at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds.
Okay, all right. So what was his name, the electrician, your grandma and grandpa?
So my grandpa was Dan Fortner, and my grandma was Lavina Fortner.
Okay, and they were based here in Springfield?
Right. So they got into the concessions business at the fairgrounds, which eventually led to my grandpa being the general manager of the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. He did that for quite a while. And then my dad and my uncle kind of followed him into a little bit of all of that. So my dad had the A&W on Kearney Street for a while. And then my dad got into the concessions business at the fairgrounds. My uncle did too. So my mom, my dad, and my uncle did all the year-round concessions at the fairgrounds for decades.
I did not know that. And your dad is Mike Fortner, who passed away a few years ago. Your mom, Diana Fortner. And now you and I both know we're both North Siders. You born and raised, went to Hillcrest. Your dad was kind of a football hero at Hillcrest, correct? I've seen his picture in some of the trophy cases.
Yeah, I'm impressed you know that. I think there's still a few of them up. He was, oh boy, I'm going to butcher it now. I believe he was All-State on both sides of the line while he was at Hillcrest as a nose tackle and as a center. And then went on to play football at Missouri State, and he was All-Conference center at Missouri State. You can tell from my genetics, I got none of that. So I did not follow in his footsteps on that one bit. But yeah, he was quite the football player back then.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to sort of set the scene for everybody. So your dad, and you said I think your uncle, ended up doing some franchises for A&W. I didn't know there was an A&W on Kearney. I had no idea. Now, you said your grandfather drove a trailer around. Is that how we ended up with this being in a trailer somehow? The Pineapple Whip, you can't miss the trailer with Lulu on the top. We'll get to her story too. But how did we get into Pineapple Whip?
Okay, so the Trailer Association, maybe, but not to my knowledge.
Okay.
So my grandpa, being in the concessions business for a while, he's just a creative guy. His brain's always going. He's thinking about, okay, what can I do? What can I do? He was kind of a jack of all trades, and anything that he got himself into, he wanted to explore it and learn it and get good at it. So I don't know where it came out of, but at some point he thought he needed some kind of unique dessert option, so he started messing around with ice cream recipes. And how he landed on pineapple, I still don't know, but he came up with the pineapple recipe that we still use to this day. And that was back, to the best of our knowledge, early 70s. Nobody was keeping records of when did we start this back then, because we didn't think that was ever going to be a thing. So it was just 10 days a year at the fair. He sold this, and that was it. And then it went away until the next fair.
Okay, you answered my question. Okay, so I don't always bring notes with me, but you can see right here in my notes it says Ozark Empire Fair. Because when I moved to this town, I can remember going to the fair because when I worked at Color 10, KOLR-TV, we would be at the fair every year because it was such a big deal. And I remember looking forward to the fair, if for no other reason than to look for the Pineapple Whip trailer to get my Pineapple Whip fix. So I did not dream that. It was only available at the fair.
Only at the fair, that's right. Yep. So in back then, it wasn't it wasn't in a trailer at all. So there used to be a grandstand that predates the one that's there now. And in a little corner of the grandstand, facing the midway, the main drag that everybody goes up and down, there was just a permanent, full-time, year-round spot that only got used during the fair. So, it's a brick and mortar spot that was only used during the fair, and they had Pineapple Whip in that.
Okay, I think that was before I got here.
Right. So that's way back. That's mid to late 70s era. And then eventually enough people kept saying, boy, this stuff is pretty good. Why is this just happening during the fair? And at that point, my dad and my uncle were involved, and they thought, well, we could do something else with it. So that's where the trailers came in. They thought, okay, let's see if we can build a mobile unit, take it out to the streets. And the first one they did, to the best of our knowledge, was 86, we think. So built the first one. The trailer that's over on West Battlefield right now, that's the first one they built. We built all of these from scratch ourselves. Well, I was in diapers, so I didn't.
Right, you weren't in there welding or doing any of the stuff, but I still think that's interesting that your grandpa used to drive around and do electrical work, and then here we are with this highly crazy successful trailer. You know, I mean, there had to be some DNA down through there somewhere that helped with this trailer design. So then they just thought, we're going to make one and take it out and put it somewhere?
Right, yep. So they did the first one, and they put it out on the Westlake Hardware lot out on South Campbell, which is not where we are now. But then that went okay, and a few years later they built another one, and then kept building them up to 4, which is what we have right now. And that's just kind of grew out of that. And then eventually, back in 2005, we withdrew from the fairgrounds as like full-time concession operators, and it was just Pineapple Whip was under our purview, and that was it. We still did a few food events here and there, but it just kind of transitioned into Pineapple Whip only, and that's kind of what it's been now for, I guess, 20-ish years. It's just been this.
Okay, I'm assuming it started literally with the one flavor, pineapple, which is just fantastic. Was that something that he just loved the taste of pineapple, or do you really even know how he came up with the recipe?
I haven't the foggiest why that. Okay. I haven't the foggiest, but yeah, did that one first, and then a grape flavor came next, and then an orange flavor, which is we're serving right now, and then yeah, the other ones just kind of over time we just kind of kept adding, and yeah, here we are today.
I will say I've had every flavor, of course, that you have. I love them all, but I think if I had to get right down to it, I think the pineapple natural grape swirl, and you do swirls, is really kind of my favorite. Which is the most popular among people who stop by here?
Well, you and my wife have that in common. My wife Jen likes the pineapple and the grape swirl together. That's her favorite. But yeah, grape is actually not the most popular. grape's not the most popular of the secondary flavors. Pineapple's by far the most popular.
Okay, just a single pineapple cone or bowl or whatever is the number one.
That's right. Pineapple's number one by a lot. And then next probably is tied for second is the strawberry kiwi and the mango peach. And then we have a lemonberry flavor that's on the newer side of things. It's gaining steam. And then down below that is a couple of the others. But we also got a few specialties that we've been playing around with the last couple of years. We just do for maybe a week or two, which include the watermelon flavor. That one's gone over really well. We just introduced a new cherry flavor, which has gone over really well. So we'll see how that evolves. But yeah, we're always just kind of playing around and seeing what people like and iterating from there.
Well, you had me at cherry because I love anything cherry. And I told my daughter, I said, we got to get down there and get one of these cherries. But it hurt me not to have pineapple, but I wanted to taste just the cherry by itself, right? But the gal behind the counter gave me the big dollop of pineapple on top of my cherry cone, so I got the best of both worlds. Then I came back because I knew it was a limited time, and I got the cherry pineapple swirl. And let me just say, that is a match made in heaven.
And I need to be on the record and say we are always happy to offer a sample of any flavor if anybody's not sure of it. Because some people, they just know what they're comfortable with and they go with it. But yeah, we're always happy to give you a spoonful of whatever's on tap and see if you like it.
For over 30 years, Arctic Food Equipment has proudly served the backbone of America's restaurant industry, right here in the heart of Springfield, Missouri. We're not just a supply house, we're your partner. From kitchens large to small, we build value-based relationships, always exceeding expectations with quality products and expert support. Trusted, reliable, American-made values. That's Arctic Food Equipment. Together, we help build the taste of our nation. Stop by or call today, Arctic Food Equipment. We're working hard so your kitchen can too. The tools you trust, the partner you deserve.
Okay, I might get myself in trouble with this question. The Nana Granite. That was, my daughter asked me. She goes, where is that one? I said, well, I don't know. You have to check their web or their Facebook. Do you still do that one?
We do, and you're a student of history because we don't even call it Nana Granite anymore. It confused enough people, and it was mispronounced often enough. We just said, you know what? Let's just call it banana pomegranate, which is the actual flavor.
Well, I don't understand who wouldn't understand Nana Granite, but I mean, come on, foodies, step it up. Okay, but now you call it banana pomegranate, so you still do that one. Sometimes.
Behind closed doors, we still call it Nana Granite, yes. Okay. But the public-facing side of things, we just go simple and call it what it is.
Oh, now I love banana, too. That is really good. So, as I referred to at the beginning of this podcast, when winter rolled around, I don't know how many winters ago, Pineapple Whip unleashed something magical. You put on your social media, Whip Solstice. It's a Whip Solstice. And I remember taking my daughters, I think we were down on Battlefield, and there was this line across the parking lot, one person after the other. And one of my daughters was wrapped in a sleeping bag, and the other one had on a big coat and fuzzy slippers. 20 people back in the freezing cold to get a frozen Pineapple Whip treat. Whose idea was the Whip Solstice?
Well, I have to give the credit to our customers on that one. The same reason we have trailers and we're not just at the fair, same reason we're doing the Whip Solstice. We just heard enough people over time say, gosh, I wish it was more than the fair, so we built the trailers. And then enough people said, why do you go away in the winter? We wish you were still around in the winter. And we pay attention to our sales, and we can see when the weather's cooling off, our sales go down. So there's a natural point at which we close. But we thought, you know what? Let's give our diehards, something that maybe will perk their winter up a little bit. So we thought, let's just open for a couple of days and see what happens. It was mostly a joke. We just thought this will be hilarious. A couple people will show up, but it's not going to work. But then sure enough, people came out for it. I think it was just maybe a happy accident. Enough people are thinking, get me out of the house and give me something to do in January. I need something. And they just keep coming every year, so we just keep doing it.
Well, did it surprise even you? I mean, it sounded like it surprised everybody.
Oh, yeah. We had no conception that it would work at all. At that point, my little brother lived in Dallas, and he thought it was a fun enough idea. He drove up and surprised us and just stuck his head in the back door our second night open or something, and we all just looked at him and said, okay, get to work. Yeah. So he jumped in there with us, and we actually went out to where we store the trailers in the winter 5 a.m. the next morning, and we pulled a second trailer out to the lot so we could keep up with the volume. So we put him to work, and he had to help. And it's a fun memory. I'll always remember that one.
Did you, when you first had the whip solstice, was it just, how long did you do it? Did you do it for a day? Did you do it for 3 days? Did you do it for a weekend? I don't remember.
The first year we did 3 days, and then we bumped it up to 5, and then we eventually kind of figured out, I think the sweet spot's about 4. So we do 4 now. There is a place at which people are like, yeah, I've gone once, that's good enough for me. So 4 days is kind of where we've got it right now.
Is there a certain time of year you do it every year, or do you just, how does that add up?
Yeah, so we try to do it at the midpoint between the end of our regular season and the beginning of the next season, which is kind of the way the winter solstice works with the year, but we don't do it on the winter solstice. It'd be right before Christmas. Bad idea.
So I didn't remember it being near Christmas. I remembered it being after Christmas, so it's in the midpoint. Right. I see.
Yeah, so we wait until all the college students get back into town for the semester, and then we try to plan it as quickly after that as we can. So it's typically going to be late January, early February. It's always this panic-stricken checking of the forecast, like, what's it going to do, what's it going to do? And then, as soon as we find a decent forecast, we go for it, and then the forecast changes and it gets worse or better. But
did you come up, I guess you all came up with your own recipes. I mean, how did you come up with all of those?
So they're all made from scratch every day by us. Yep. They're all of our own recipes, and we make them every morning fresh and take them around all the locations.
I did not know that. You make them right here in Spring Vegas, do you?
Right here in Spring Vegas, that's right.
Oh my goodness, I am so impressed with that. I don't know. I never thought about it. Yep. As long as Lulu's up there shaking her skirt and I can get a pineapple whip, I don't care where it comes from. But I do care because I love the idea that you do it here. Yeah. That's amazing. How do you don't have to give away trade secrets, but how early does that party start every day?
There's a crew of 3 of us that work full-time year-round, and we're there every morning at 8 a.m. We get everything mixed. We drive around town, drop everything off, bring more cups and cones and anything else that they need, cleaning supplies, and then the party starts at 12 every day. So,
what is the most popular, the cup or the cone?
Cups are by far more popular.
Really?
Though I'm a religious cone eater.
I love the cone. I love the crunch at the end. Yeah. You know, when there's a little bit of the pineapple whip down in the bottom and you get that last bite. Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, and it's funny, the cones by themselves, I don't think I would ever choose that by itself, but for whatever reason, paired with that kind of sweet, it's just right.
It is just right. Okay, so the cups are a thing. Okay, who works at Pineapple Whip? I'm sure that's like a badge of honor for young people who grow up in Springfield to say, I worked at Pineapple Whip, right? I mean, who comes clamoring to get a job here?
It kind of runs the gamut a little bit. We've got a few people that have been with us for probably going on 30 years now. If you've ever been to the Glenstone location, you've probably met Debbie. And
yes, I have met Debbie. I bought one from her last week.
Yep. But yeah, she's been with us for a long, long time and knows things inside and out. I usually get her opinions on everything before I do anything.
So she's seriously been here like 30 years?
Oh yeah. And then, that's one end of the spectrum. That's not the majority of our staff by any means. But then we've got, people who it's their first job too. They've maybe done a babysitting job before, maybe done nothing, and this is their first job. And then several people in between. Yeah, we've got a new mom this year who was ready to kind of get back and do a few things, and she's been great. We've got a few people who are just graduated high school, and a few people that are getting ready to graduate college. So it's probably more in the high school and college age range. But
that's kind of how I had it pictured. I just figured that maybe some of these young folks who are trying to get their first job lined up would think, "Man, I grew up, mom and dad taking me there. I want to work there someday," and they probably just absolutely love it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the majority of our staff is that age range. But then we've definitely got a few people who are either retirees or they just like the idea of coming and doing something. And it's really fun. You get to greet people who are happy already when they show up. They're excited to be there. It's just kind of a fun dynamic, and I would do it every day if if I didn't have to do payroll and, supply ordering and stuff like that in the background, I would be doing this every single day.
Well, remind me to get an application before I leave, because I'm thinking that might sound like a second or third career for me one day. Wouldn't that be fun? You make a good point. People are excited to be here, when they get here. So they just walk up and decide what flavor they want, and you get to fulfill all their dreams right then and there.
Right. The job's kind of done itself. They're excited to be here, and the energy is always positive, and it's a fun gig.
I love the picnic tables that you typically have outside, and you see some people at the tables, other people in their cars, other people just standing outside watching cars go by, and friends meeting friends, and it has just to be so fulfilling for you.
Yeah. The sitting outside thing, at a certain point it gets maybe a little too hot, but most of the year it's just right. We have shade at every location. We've custom built a couple of shade canopies that we have. We're here at the Glenstone location under some trees, which is great, but we don't have that luxury everywhere, so we brought the shade to the locations. But yeah, it's just, I think anytime you just get outside and enjoy yourself, you're never going to regret it. So yeah, you may want to go sit in the air conditioning, but sometimes this is just right.
It is just right. Have you ever had any special occasions marked at a pineapple whip, like you ever have a wedding, you ever have an engagement, anything unusual?
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. We've had a few people propose to here. We have been at several weddings. We used to take trailers out for that kind of stuff a little bit more often. So we've taken a trailer to a couple of weddings. We do a little bit less of that these days. We also cater. We've got a whole fleet of coolers that we can pack whips in and send them anywhere with dry ice so they stay cold. So we do a lot of that for weddings. We have proms come. They'll show up in limousines and all dressed up. That's pretty fun. Lots of first dates, things like that.
Oh my goodness, I just love it. Well, it's just a social media post made in heaven with a beautiful cone or cup with the beautiful tropical colors in it, happy faces, and the trailer. And which leads me back, Lulu up here. Beautiful, beautiful little, she's got the leis around her neck, she's got the flowers around her head, and as long as she's shaking her little hula skirt, that means you're open. So that's the signal, right, to everybody out there that we've got Pineapple Whip.
That's right. We've resisted the urge over the years to have an open sign in our window because, we think the hula girl kind of is our open sign. If she's dancing, then we're probably ready to go. Where
did she come from? Whose idea was Lulu? Was it just because it's a pineapple sort of Hawaiian tropical feel, or what?
This is kind of a fun story that I don't tell often because it just doesn't come up very often. But while my grandpa was still the general manager of the fairgrounds, the assistant general manager of the fairgrounds, Marla Calico, walked into his office one day, as she often did, and saw him simulating a hula girl dance himself. He was just in his office by himself, dancing like a hula girl or moving his hands to try to figure out what that motion was, because he was trying to come up with how to make a mechanical hula girl dance. These are also all custom built by us. Every last bit of, we don't do the screen printing for the actual face of it, but we cut the shape of the hula girl out, and we weld together the metal stand at the bottom and all the mechanisms and the electric motor that make her run. All of that we just put together ourselves.
So Marla Calico walks in, and your grandpa's in there doing a little hula dance, and unfortunately I guess there were no iPhones with cameras at that point, because I'm quite sure that would have been a fun one for social media back in the day. And she got over herself there for a second and had it in her to say, "Hey, are you okay? What are you doing?" I mean, what did he was just concepting this idea, right?
I've only heard that story told secondhand, so I can't vouch for exactly how it all went down, but I'm sure she rolled her eyes at him a little bit.
Well, let's go with it. I just think that's hysterical. So he was thinking about how to make this stand out, and I mean the trailer is so pretty. It's fun to look at. It's beautifully done. You've got some neon lights with your logo, and then the best open sign I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, and she requires a little bit of work. She dances all day, every day for 10 hours, except for Sundays. We're closed on Sundays. But yeah, that's she'll wear out a few parts over time. So we're up there doing more and more. Although we're doing a lot less maintenance these days. My uncle had the brilliant idea to retire our original skirt material. We used to make it out of weed eater cord. Miles of weed eater cord for every skirt. It was a tremendous effort to make those. We have since switched to a vinyl material. You ever seen the blob on the lake that people bouncy?
Oh yeah, tough stuff then.
Right. Okay. So my uncle had the idea to start making it from that material, and it's been way easier to maintain.
Where'd you get the name Lulu, do you know?
Ooh, that one's probably lost to history. I could ask my uncle that one, but it's just always been Lulu.
Okay, if you get your answer from your uncle, just text me and I'll throw this in at some point. Merch. There's merch. I remember getting the kids the Pineapple Whip t-shirt years ago. I think I called you and it was Christmas. I said, I need 2 shirts for Christmas stockings. And
we met at a Wendy's. We met at a Wendy's parking lot. I got you those shirts, right?
I think so. I was like, I got to pick them up and pay you. Where do I meet you? Because there's no Pineapple Whip to go to at the moment. And I think the shirts have undergone a redesign, a little upgrade. Talk about your merch. That's got to be popular.
Yeah. We got a new shirt design this year that we're really excited about, and this is the first time this has ever happened. One of our staff members, when she heard that we were talking about doing a new design, said, "Hey, could I take a crack at that?" And we said, "Well, sure." So Natalie, who's been with us since 22, she did the whole design, and we got them on shirts. So yeah, we're real excited about that. She's a local artist, and she does other stuff on the side. But yeah, they've been great. We're real excited about them.
So tell me what all, you have ball caps, which are super cute. Now these insulated cups that you can, I guess, bring back and have refilled. I missed out on those. I don't know why. I think I was just too late. But I remember when you unveiled those and said we have the limited edition, whatever. And now, I guess they were a big enough deal that you can get them anytime, pretty much now. What spawned that whole thing?
That spawned out of me being a little bit of a tree hugger. I'm kind of a sustainability guy.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would call myself anti-landfill. So the less stuff we can put in the landfill, the happier I am. So I thought, well, how could we make this a reusable thing and make it a good deal for the customers? And so I played around with a whole bunch of different insulated cups to see what would work the best. I drew a bunch off, and I put thermometers in them and put them in my kitchen and charted how much they warmed up over hours and hours, and then finally landed on this cup that we're using today. And that one will keep it frozen for 7 to 8 hours perfectly at room temperature. No problem. And even after that, it's still good. It just starts to get a little more soft and slushy. But yeah, flawless consistency at 8 hours at room temperature.
That is remarkable. I didn't expect that. I don't know why. I just remember when you did it thinking that would be just a cool thing to have at home and bring it back and get it refilled. But and of course sustainability enters into it. But my big thing was just thinking about keeping it cold, because on a hot night, even if you do go in your car, it can melt pretty quickly, especially if you have a cone. I would know. You got to get busy with that cone pretty quick.
Yeah, and I'm realistic enough to know that not everybody's going to follow me down my sustainability path. So we tried to come up with something that would be a good deal for the customers. So if you buy the cup, they're $29 currently. If you refill it, you get the same price as the small cup, $3.50, but you get 12 ounces instead of 7. So you get quite a bit bigger serving. So a lot of people eat half of it and then take the rest home, and that's great. They got leftovers for later.
By the way, you can come and get Pineapple Whip to take home, correct?
That's right. Yep. So we started doing this maybe 6-7 years ago. We try to keep all of our flavors in pre-frozen pints in a freezer. Just enough of them to get through the day. So we run out sometimes, but most of the time you can get any flavor that you want to at any location. It's not that, perfect, fresh, soft consistency as it comes right out of the machine, but flavor's unaffected, still tasty, and makes a lot of people happy that way.
Oh, it makes me happy. I've done that before when I knew I wanted some and I knew you were about to close. Okay, so chocolate. The chocolate whip, the chocolate pineapple whip. I didn't see that coming, but you know me, I buzzed myself right on over here to get my hands on that. Where did that idea come from?
Oh, chocolate goes way back, a lot farther than a lot of people think. We were doing that back in the fairgrounds days.
No way. Really?
Oh, yeah. Not often, but just sometimes. And then once we got out of the fairgrounds era, we just did it at our luau. We used to do luau's. We might do it again at some point, but we would do a luau and have a couple of trailers out, and one of them would serve chocolate. It was the only time of year we did that.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about the luau. You're right.
But yeah, since since we've kind of stepped out of the luau era a little bit, we decided to cancel it 2020, 2021. We just haven't made it back to doing it since then. But
and that's when you sort of set up out in the parking lot, right? And kind of had a party?
Right, yeah. We brought a truckload of sand in and had a little kiddie pool and some palm trees and a stage. And there's a Samoan church in town that has a dance troupe, and they would come out and do that every year. We had a fire juggler at one point. It was great.
Maybe one day again. But so you would roll out the chocolate at the luau. Maybe I stopped by the luau to get the chocolate. Zach, I don't remember, but it was really good. And you know what I did? Because I'm a renegade this way. I did a chocolate pineapple twist, and it was fantastic.
Right, yeah. That's what I'm always going to get. When the chocolate's out, I'm always going to get it twisted with the pineapple, and it's quite good. Right when you first taste it, it strikes you as just a little odd, and then it kind of congeals together, and it's like, ooh, just right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It just gives you that little chocolate fix that you aren't used to with pineapple whip, but when you put them together, it's just absolutely fantastic. So can you franchise this?
We could. We choose not to.
Okay, I somewhere along the lines, I thought maybe that you did. If someone wanted to open one somewhere, and I believe I read on your website there's one in Kansas. Who runs that one?
Yeah. My brother's got one in Junction City, Kansas. Yep. And we did dabble in franchising for a period of time. So there's actually still one going, or there's two going. One in Conway, Arkansas, and then another one next door in Sherwood. The same guy, Robert Clark, runs those. And then there's another one in Robbinsville, North Carolina. But that's it. Just those. My kids are 7 and 8. So my ambitious phase is on pause for a little bit. I'm trying to be a present dad for them and enjoy these years, because we are like the peak golden age for our kids. They are the most fun they're probably ever going to be. And so we're just trying to soak all that up. And franchising, not as important to me right now.
I completely understand, Zach, and I admire you for that. But I do remember hearing about it at one point, and when I was on your website, it said something about it, and then when you go there, it said something about, well, we've got some bad news. We're not going to do that right away. Never say never, but I didn't realize you had any in Arkansas. I grew up in Russellville, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, someone really needs to bring this to Russellville, but at least they got it as far as Conway.
Right, yeah, it's central in the state, so you can drive from any corner of the state and get there fairly quickly.
Any new flavors coming up that you can share? Give me a little hint. Anything you're working on?
Ooh, put me on the spot.
Yep.
I'm going to have to plead the fifth on this one. We're always thinking about ideas, but I hate to get anybody's hopes up for a certain thing, because we did, when we were playing around with the cherry flavor, we did try another one, and we didn't like it, so we're not going to do it. So we don't have any that we are confident enough in now to say, yes, this one is ready for public consumption.
You have to. I can't imagine people don't send you suggestions.
Oh, yeah, constantly. And we always take them seriously. We always listen. But yeah, there's just, we're not going to do a recipe unless we feel good about it. And we just haven't got anywhere where we're confident enough yet on other recipes.
All right, so typically you open this up around town. All of them at one time open up, or do you typically open one location? And it's roughly from about mid-March to late March to September. Am I right about that?
That's pretty close. So we don't quite open them all at once. We'll open the first two late March, early April, depending on what the weather does. Inevitably, we'll still get a snow after we open in April. But we just look at the forecast and make our best guess at it. And then yeah, we open the next two trailers maybe a couple weeks after that, have all four of them open pretty much all of April through mid-September. We'll typically close the first one mid-September, and then the last couple trailers will close late September.
Okay, and then we always have the solstice to look forward to sometime in January. Thank goodness. Well, Zach Fortner, you and your family have brought a lot of delicious happiness to those of us here in the Ozarks, and you still do. And there's very little in the world that will make me as happy as a good pineapple whip, so I think I'm about ready to run up there and get myself one. It's great talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joy. Happy to have you.
Be sure to go to AroundTheOzarks.com to sign up for our daily newsletter where you can get every episode of Savor the Ozarks, plus all our other podcasts, events, and contests straight to your inbox. And what are your favorite dishes in the 417? You have any restaurants you'd like me to visit? Email me at joy@AroundTheOzarks.com.